So my name is Joshua Somerville. I also go by the name Sommer SANKOFA. So the purpose of this video is to give you some insight into the Gambia and as to why I'm here. So the reason for me coming to Gambia was to initially buy some land and to kind of make processes to leave England. So my reason for leaving England, to cut it short, is simply that England doesn't allow you to have time for yourself. Now, in the system in the West, it's devised so that most of our time is spent working to then pay for where we live, which is overpriced, and to then also pay for food to keep us going. Now, when you live in nature, which Africa provides, you don't have to pay, you don't have to work for so long to have to then pay to where you live and then be able to get food. So what I'm trying to say is that in the West, you have to pay about £700 a month for a room. Whereas in nature now, all the resources that they use to build that house now, well, you would have probably been able to build that same house by paying rent for 1 year if you put that same money into the materials to build your home. So it also required to work about 40 years, and they also give you an option if you do want to own your property, you have to get a mortgage out, which will take about 25 years, which basically forces you to have to make an income for the next 25 years. Now, the reason why I like Africa is because once you've bought your land, once you've built your house and you own a farm, you no longer have to work to live. You now have your own time. So that is the main reason for coming to Africa. Another reason is because I wanted to retrace my roots. So I know that my ancestors didn't come from Jamaica, and I wanted to go back to where we originally came from. So in England, they say I look Jamaican, whereas in Africa, they say I look like Fuller, which is a tribe of East Africans, and due to the wars and slavery, was a tribe that left East Africa and came West Africa. So my purpose is for choosing Gambia is to start where my ancestors left on this coastline of the Atlantic Ocean, and to then go back through Africa and reach back to East Africa or the top of the mountains in Ethiopia. So since I've been here, due to the coronavirus, I've been stuck here, and that's allowed me now to not be a tourist and to see and have a view as in I lived like I lived here. And what I've come to the conclusion is that it's very difficult, and the people are facing major oppression. So what it is that here there is no work. So there's not a lot of opportunities for you to just get up and earn your own. There's no factories here. And the only factory that they do have here is one called Dewberry that produces beer. But that's now closing down for them to bring in Heineken, which is another foreign business. So that won't necessarily bring money for the Gambians. Another thing is that there's no minimum wage. So people can come here, they can pay whatever they like, and where they're coming from, they know that that's not the process. So it's kind of like modern day slavery in the extent that they're not paying people enough for them to better themselves. Another problem that I've seen here is that there's no public transport. The government hasn't, whereas in London we have the TfL, we've got a private organisation which used to be part of the state, which is private now, but used to, that makes sure that there's public transport. So now in Gambia, you can get a taxi, you can get a bus, but that's a person on its own accord that's bought a van or a car and decided to do taxi or cabin. So the government needs to have public transport, because Gambia is so massive that you could drive for 10 hours and still be in Gambia. Another thing is that I think that they need here is pavement. There's no pavement, there's just sand and just road. And where the people have to walk is not safe. It's the equivalent to us basically walking in the road in London. Another thing that's not good here is that it's been colonized by Britain, but although for them to leave here and go to the UK, they need sponsorship, which to me is oppression again, because you need to earn at least 25 grand and be able to prove that you can look after that person to bring them over to England. But if they're colonized by Britain, then they should be able to come and go as they please. So that's just a few. Another issue is that there's underage prostitution here. There's young girls selling because of the lack of money and the lack of income. You have foreigners coming here that are making up charities, and under the charities they're setting up paedophile rings, because their charities are getting like 50,000, but when you go to the area and speak with the people, their money's not coming outside of that building that they've bought. So that's another problem as well, that foreigners are coming able to do charity because of the state of Africa and earn money, but that money is not then being filtered through to the African people. So what my plan is now is to basically, from being stuck in Africa and seeing the mess that it's in, is to basically rebuild and refix it. So if there's about 9 million people in London, just under half of them are black people. So that's about, let's just say 4 million people. So now out of 4 million people, if 0.01% of people came together, or 0.1%, sorry, came together, and that would be about 4,000 people. Now if 4,000 people put £25 together a month, then that would be about just over £1 million a year. So let me just read a little bit just to make sure that I've got the message correct. There's 9 million people in London, about just under half are black people, so let's say 4 million. If 0.1% of people, that which makes 4,000 people, put £25 a month away for 1 year, that will be over £1 million. And we could use that same money to bring to the Gambia, and we could basically buy land so that we own our own land. We can then build our own community, our own empire, where we live according to how we want to live. So what I would initiate is that we own our own land, and like China, Australia and India, if you're not from there, you're not allowed to buy that land back. So it only can be sold to people from that country. Another thing I would do is I would have reparational tax. So if anyone comes as a foreigner and wants to earn or work or do any business in our country, then we would have to charge them tax as we pay tax in the West. Yeah, that's just a quick little brief introduction as to why I'm here, what I've seen here, the changes that need to happen here as I've been here. So yeah, and also since I've been here, I've started up some charities and just connected the dots. And I've done this by literally using my Snapchat. I've requested that everyone on my Snapchat send something small that they won't miss. And that money coming together has equated to quite a lot. With that same money, I've been able to buy over 300 kg bags of rice, and we've given more than 200 people rice. We've also, when we're going to the villages, we're able to highlight problems. So I've gone to villages, one called Mahmuda, and Mohammed there had a problem that the roof had holes in the mosque and simply wanted it fixed, but because of lack of government help and not enough funds, they're not able to fix the roof. So by asking people in the UK for support and help, we've already raised more than £250, which would have never been possible based on their own. So that's kind of my purpose for being in Africa, that I see myself as someone that can connect with people in the West and then be a trustworthy person that when once collecting the support funds and donations or money, I could then put it into what needs to be put into and actually help the people. But like I said, the purpose and the goal would be if we could get 0.1% of the people in London alone just to come together for 1 year and put £25 in the same direction, we'd be able to build our own empire. What I did forget to say previously, another problem is that all of Africa is colonized by another country, and there's no actual African country for the Africans. So what we need to do is come back united together and colonize our own piece of Africa, so we have an Africa for the Africans. So yeah, that's just a bit of insight into like my mission, into my views, into my perspective as what I've seen here and some of the changes that need to be done. So I have a YouTube channel which is Sommer SANKOFA. I have an Instagram which is Sommer SANKOFA BWO, and I also have a website which is www.blackworldorder.co.uk, where I promote black businesses as well. And since being in Africa, we're promoting African black owned products to then also send and sell as well to people in the West. So yeah, the email address is blackworldorder@hotmail.com, and I'm contactable and I'm sociable, do you know what I mean? Because I do want to build this together, and it takes all type of blacks at the moment. I don't want to segregate no blacks because we're all coming with different beliefs, different views, and in different lifestyles. But the one thing we have in common is that we're black and have no country of our own. So until then, that's what we need to do. So yeah, thanks for listening if you've watched this whole video, and also shout out to black owned businesses that's giving me the opportunity to make this video and to reach out to more people. So yeah man, everyone just stay powerful, stay blessed, and always pump out love and positivity. Black power.